Is that pretty? A little bit of contact there from Scott. He muscles his way past.
Contact.
Into the back of...
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Welcome back, race fans, for another interesting week here in the V8 Supercar Americas Series. I'm JD Smith. With me to call all the action this afternoon will be Kane Kraft. We're here presented by V8 Online. Want to let you know that tonight's broadcast, as always, is brought to you in glorious HD, and as always, brought to you by our wonderful sponsors, Direct Clutch Services, V8 Supercar Fan Group, and our very own V8 Online Superstore. And they're heading out to Infineon Raceway out in Sonoma, California, heading out to the middle of right on the west coast of here, buddy. We got the famous Sonoma Raceway, and we're going to be running the Cup configuration. It's going to be an interesting race tonight. 28 laps in the V8 Supercar. A lot of guys not quite used to this racetrack. Not a lot of miles in the V8. Should be real interesting, Kane.
Sonoma is definitely one of my favorite tracks. I really like the elevation changes, the blind corners. It's really a tough track, but it's one that really shows the skills of the drivers. So I'm real anxious to get the show on the road here tonight, because I know with the quality of drivers that we have in this series that Sonoma can be a really great track.
Yeah, it really can, Kane. There's a lot of things that these drivers are going to have to get used to tonight really quick, and that is one of the things you just mentioned is the elevation change here. It's not your typical flat road track. This has got a lot of change in it. Not quite as much as, say, Mount Panorama, but it still has a good bit. You have to pay attention to some blind corners as well. It gets really interesting in a hurry. One of the fun things, I love driving here as a driver. It's one of the funnest tracks to be in the V8 here and to hop those curbs. It is so fun. Just the way it is, it's just a very fun track to drive. Now, as far as passing goes tonight, that's going to be interesting, Kane. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be an easy passing track here.
No, there's only a couple of really good passing zones. One of them is the final turn there. They're a real sharp hairpin. And it's going to be, you're right, passing's going to be a challenge. So that's going to be another fun thing to keep an eye on.
Well, it won't be long, buddy, and we'll be getting everybody gridded up. It's been a wonderful season so far in the V8 Supercar Americas Series, Kane. It really has been a tight race throughout the season. Here we are, week 8 of the 12-week season, so really just starting to crack into the second half now. Mid-Ohio, we broke officially into the second half of the season. That was a fantastic race last week. Enjoyed it. It wasn't the best race we've had all year, but it wasn't bad either. I enjoyed Mid-Ohio, but tonight's race going to be kind of like that, I think. We're going to see some drivers that have not spent a lot of time on this track. Maybe they have in another race car, but definitely not in the V8. This isn't a track you think of when you think of the V8 Supercar. So it's going to be real important for these guys to gain as many points as they can this week. Because when you look at the rest of the season, we got Phillip Island next week, which all your favorites are going to win there because they're used to that track. A lot of hours have been spent turning laps at Phillip Island, one of our favorites. Then Road America, it's another one. Okayama, of course, everybody has a lot of track time there. And then we close out with legendary Oran Park. So week 8, very important. This is a very important week if you look at the big picture, Kane. And I think we're going to see a lot of drivers really try to fight to get a win today.
Another interesting thing to note about week 8 is this is where the drop weeks will really start to take effect. So I believe we get 4 drop weeks in this series. So now we'll really start to see the points race start really shaping up. Speaking of the points race, I do got the points brought up here, and let's take a look at coming into this week where the points lied. In the first place in the points, we had Mark Anderson still in the lead with 998 points, But not too far behind is last season's champion rather, Marlon McMullen, with 941 points. Chad Chastain's not very far behind with 896 points, and Nigel Baines is in fourth place, not too far behind from Chad Chastain with 837 points. So the points race for that top position really is split between 4 or 5 different guys. Mike Fulcher's in 5th, Kurt Stenberg in 6th, Corey Preston's in 7th, Mike Schreier's in 8th, Sanjin Delalik's in 9th, and then Bo Catel's in 10th. But those top 5 positions, really, it's with there being almost 200 points to gain on a Friday night race. Yeah, on some Friday nights there has been over 200 points gained. So with there being that many points to gain, it's still anybody's game here in the top 5 positions.
Well, Kane, as we look at the point standings now, we got to think the drop weeks have not been accounted for yet either. So things could change really, really dramatically once those drop weeks are into effect. Drivers like drivers like Bo Cattell, who may have missed a week here or there, had a bad result. The rest of the time, he's been flawless. So I think when he adds his drop weeks in, he'll be right up there with the top. He'll be right in the top 3. The same can be said with Chad Chastain. I know he missed a week or 2 at the time, and but when he's been on track, he's been unbeatable, and that's going to probably move him close to the front, if not in the lead. So a lot of that's going to be having to take advantage. We won't see those results until the final week or right before the final week.
Yeah, definitely as those drop weeks start taking effect, we're definitely going to see a big shakeup in the points, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the points end up working out with the drop weeks.
Yeah, it is. The best way I can think to do it is, of course, last year we had Marlon McMullen leading in the points. Just to show you, even with the drop weeks, we had Marlon McMullen in the lead going into the final race. And, of course, Marlon was able to secure his championship last year. So this shows you, even with the drop weeks, it's still very, very crucial to keep an eye on the point standings. I'd say anybody that's in the top 10 right now is definitely in contention to win the championship this season. Like I said, we still have almost another half, not quite a full half, but almost another half of a season to run, and that starts tonight. We get Sonoma, and it's going to be interesting. I tell you what, it is officially 10-16 here on the eastern coast of the United States, and that means drivers are getting to their cars, and it's warm-up time. We will be having some pictures brought to you momentarily, and I can't wait to see the qualifying results. It's going to be very, very important, Kane. Track position is going to be crucial out here at Sonoma.
Yeah, definitely qualifying was very important. We've seen lots of people qualifying a few minutes ago in the last qualifying session, trying to get that last effort in there to try to gain an extra position or 2 in the qualifying, because the starting position is going to be so important because the passing zones are few and far between here at Sonoma. But I do think we're going to see some really close racing. We've seen some last week at Mid-Ohio, and this track is kind of similar to Mid-Ohio in that way. So I think that we'll see some good close racing like we did last week.
Oh, man, we're going to have a 15-car field. It's going to be action-packed, Kane, from the grid. I'm telling you what, it's going to be an awesome start. It's going to be one of the best starts that we're going to see all year, in my opinion. I love the way this track starts. They're going to start on the start-finish line on that grid, and they're immediately going to have a sharp left-hand turn uphill into a right-hander. It is very, very difficult, especially with cold tires, and cars can really bunch up and get in trouble in a hurry, so we're going to really need to pay attention to that tonight. It's going to be very fun for a standing start. A couple things I'm looking at is when everything's loading up. Looks like it's going to be a little bit warmer this week, Kane. I'm not going to do the full weather report yet, but I'm going to say it will be a little warmer, so the guy's going to have to be looking for some extra grip out there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It just depends on how aggressive these guys are early in this race. I know we've had some guys that have had different strategies throughout the year, and Kane, with these 28 laps that we're going to be running here this afternoon, you got to think strategy is going to play a humongous part in this race. With this track just under 2 miles in length, pit strategy is very important.
Yeah, most certainly. Pit strategy is going to play an ever-important role today.
Well, not only the pit in the pits will it make the difference, but the drivers play a big part in this as well, Kane, because this is one of the unique pit entrances. It's actually a very unique pit entrance. You actually have to make a U-turn in the pit entrance, and in the middle of pit road there is actually a break in pit road, and some people get confused. If you're not careful, you'll run right into the wall. It looks like a little there's a split right in the middle of pit road here, and it's such a long pit road that I've seen drivers make mistakes and try to go into the other entrance and mess up here. So we'll have to be really careful watching pit strategy tonight. It's going to be real interesting. These drivers are going to lose a lot of time in entering and exiting the pits here. Well, now we're inside, or I'm inside, buddy. I'm excited. I have seen the pit result. The qualifying results, the grid results, and Kane, I have to say, he's done it again. On the pole for the Sonoma race this season is going to be the Can-Am Motorsport driver, Chad Chastain. And this guy has just been dominant this season. A fantastic job for Chad, and I'm proud of him. Good job. Another good driver. Good job for Tobias Zerny. He'll be starting on the outside pole in the second position. In the third spot will be Marlon J. McMullen. In fourth will be points leader Mark Anderson. And in fifth will be Nigel Baines. Sixth place will go to Michael Fulcher in the Kamikaze Race Team machine. Corey Preston in the HPR Ford Falcon will be starting in seventh. Sanjay Delilik is back in eighth with Tony Klusterman and Never Quit Racing in ninth. 10 is going to Graham Bones Phil, and Marty Carroll back in the 11th slot with Stuart Dent in 12th. Dylan Shepard will be in the 13th spot with Bo Jansen in 14th. Sam Sutton will round out the 15-car field, and Kane, we're ready to go. I'm going to turn it over to you to start this race.
Yeah, they are lined up on the grid, just waiting for the lights. And the reds are up. They're getting ready to go green.
And we're off, buddy. This is it. Very important start.
Tobias got a great start there. Was able to keep up with Chad Chastain off the start, which we've seen Chad.
Big trouble going into the turn. It's Nigel Baines getting into Corey Preston. Nigel was turned around. We're going to have to get a race recall replay on that. Big time troubles. I was talking about how scary the starts are here, and already we've seen it. Big trouble for the SDC Motorsports driver. If we can get the race recall going here, the race recall replay will show Marlon J. McMullen and Nigel Baines both running out of room, and that is very unfortunate for the number 6 machine of Nigel Baines. Corey Preston was knocked off the road, but I think damage is minimal for Corey Preston. I don't know how bad the damage is for Nigel either, but that definitely will hurt for the SDC Motorsports driver.
Yeah, horrible start there for Nigel. Bad luck. That's going to really be tough to catch up from that. It looks like his car's okay though, and I do think he'll be able to make some gains because it don't look like he's going to be forced to pit for repairs.
Yeah, I think he's going to be all right. Here comes Chad Chastain crossing the finish line. We have officially started a lap here at Sonoma, and already full of excitement. Tobias Zerny still close contention in second. Marlon J. McMullen has fallen to Mark Anderson, and these two are side by side. Marlon's got tons of damage, but he's fighting to get third back, Kane. He's right there with Mark.
Yeah, Marlon's definitely showing lots of damage on the front of that car, but must not be enough to be forced to pit for repairs, so as long as he's able to keep that car going pretty straight, I expect we'll see Marlon fight until the end.
Caden, this is a ground and pound track, brother. This is not an aerodynamic. This isn't for sissy cars. This is going to be a macho man fight. This is going to be bumping, grinding, pushing, sweating. This is Sonoma. Aerodynamics don't mean nothing here except for on the back straightaway. Other than that, these guys can have a pretty beat up car and still be okay. And as long as he doesn't lose any horsepower, that's going to be the key. And I think he's okay. The way he's riding with Mark right now, I think he's going to be just fine. Here you see him going into the hairpin right now. Beautiful job by Marlon McMullen. He tried to pull the inside move on the KRT driver, and it almost worked. Just behind him is another battle with Sanjin Delilik and also Michael Fulcher of KRT as well. Fantastic battle for the 5th position. Man, I tell you what, something happened to Tony Kloosterman as well, Kane. Tony started up in the 9th position. He is now back in the 15th position, and I'm not quite sure what happened to him, but you know how Tony is, man. He can have an early race incident like this, and then he can just get in the zone and fight his way back up into the top 10, no problem.
Yeah, it's definitely bad luck for Tony as well. Martin Carroll also back in the 14th position there, so bad start for Marty as well. Mike Fulcher now gaining ground on Sanjin Delilik, putting some serious pressure on Sanjin as they go up the hill. Pretty good gap starting to form between leader Chad Chastain, 2nd place Tobias Zerny, and 3rd place Mark Anderson. The top 3 cars there are really starting to separate from each other and pull away from the rest of the field. Take a look at the split times here. Tobias Zerny is about a 1.5 seconds off of Chad Chastain. And then Mark Anderson's about 4 seconds off of Tobias Zerny. And then Marlon McMullen is just about a second off of 3rd place Mark Anderson. So if Marlon's damage is not too bad, we might see him be able to reel in Mark Anderson and put on a fight there for 3rd place, but it's looking like Marlon might be falling off and Sanjin might be gaining position on Marlon, so we might see a battle for the 4th place position there that Marlon McMullen holds before too long.
Didn't know if you could hear me a little earlier. I was just saying that I know that we talked about it before, Kane, but I wish we could pull up the stats on this, but when Chad Chastain starts on the pole, he has almost, I mean, I'm sure it's got to be up over 90% that he will win that race. This is how the confidence level of that Can-Am Motorsports driver is when he is on the pole. He is almost unstoppable. He breaks out to these amazing leads, and here he is doing it again. It would be really something if Tobias Zerny could find a way to catch up to him and somehow fight for the win.
You know, I've been watching the drivers this week in practice and even actually spent some time on the track this week with them, learning this track. And as I've seen, there's several drivers that really have some really good speed. Nigel Baines is one of them that has gotten down into the 1 minute 14 second.
Oh man, Kane, go look at Bones filling right now. There's all kind of business going on right behind him, as we have Bo Jansen and also Corey Preston in the mix. This is a fun, tight battle going on between Corey Preston and Bo Jansen back here for the 9th position. But these 5 cars right here all together in a pack, and boy, I'm telling you what, some good racing going on. Whoa, close moment there. Another great battle with Nigel Baines back here in the pack. He's back here with Sam Sutton. And let me tell you something, Kane. You know how great Sam Sutton is. These are two of the cleanest drivers in the business with Nigel and Sam. And this is fun to watch these two go at it.
Yeah, Nigel's definitely showing some signs of a little bit of damage there on his car. I see a little bit of front end push there. So definitely working against the car. It's kind of cut his lap times down a little bit, but
Bye, Nigel.
Hard.
Sorry there, buddy.
Yeah, I was talking about Nigel. Sorry about that.
Man, something happened. Something's wrong with Sam there. He lost some time there and really quick. Here comes Marty Carroll on him as well, Kane. Something's up. Well, I'm trying to check in on Sam. He's a little off race pace, Kane. He's looks like he's trying to stay on it, but for every now and again I see him just kind of lose it. Oh man, big moment for Marty Carroll there as he gets really loose, and that allows Mr. Sam Sutton to get right back up to Marty Carroll's bumper. It's going to be a great battle here for the 13th spot on the track.
Whatever was the issue with Sam there for about half a lap or so where he was really off pace there. Must have been a distraction maybe there at home or something, because he's back on it now.
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought he had some kind of mechanical issue, but it turns out it was something else.
Jumping back up ahead
Tobias Zerny, Kane. I'm sorry, he has fallen all the way back to 5th position behind Sanjin. And I'm trying to see what happened to him earlier. He was running in the 2nd position.
See if I can go back on a race recall replay and see if I can just happen to find what happened to Tobias there.
Very unfortunate for Tobias. I hate that for him. He had such a great race going. Uh-oh, I don't know. It looked maybe a slowdown, Kane. I'm checking in on it. And I see where he had to slow down, but I don't see why.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of strange. He gets through the turn onto the backstretch there, and he definitely comes to a complete stop and allows 3 cars to get by, and then tries to get going again right in front of Mike Fulcher there, and he does get back on space. But I did not see him cut a corner that would have caused the slowdown, but something caused him to stop.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Can't wait to talk about that post-race with Tobias. Very interesting there. Marlon McMullen trying to catch up to points leader Mark Anderson, who is our new 2nd place driver, and the KRT driver leading the way here. There's about a 9-second gap in between Mark and leader Chad Chastain. Chad is riding off into the distance here, and these guys got to find a way to catch this guy.
Yeah, with 10 seconds, the only thing is if Chad were to make a mistake, and that is definitely possible here at Sonoma.
Yeah, we talked earlier about how these guys don't really spend a lot of time here in the V8s, but I tell you what, other than that little incident at the start, they look fantastic out here. All of them. I haven't seen any of them really look like. Oh, side by side racing through the hairpin. Beautiful move by Tobias Zerny on Sanjin to Lilac. They're still side by side. Sanjin going to go for the lead now as they head towards the start-finish line. Now Sanjin gets his spot right back as they head towards turn 1 and 2. Beautiful move by Sanjin in the Volvo machine. Beautiful job. And that is an excellent maneuver to save the 5th position.
And Mike Fulcher right in there with the battle too, trying to work and take that position from Tobias Zerny. Tobias is working on Sanjin, and Michael's working on Tobias. Good 3-way battle we got going on here. Back
up towards the front, Mark Anderson trying to hold off Marlon McMullen. But here also behind them now, Tobias Zerny really trying to get his spot back from Sanjin Delilac. He is really wanting that spot back. Tell you what, we should go on board, Kane. Oh man, hold on, they've got another side-by-side race going on with Sanjin Delilac. Here is Tobias Zerny on the inside going into the hairpin, and so man, the advantage paid off huge. Sanjin had to go really wide as he went in a little too hot into the hairpin, and that cost him dearly. And it almost benefit Michael Fulcher as well, Kane, as he was back there ready to make a move as well.
Yeah, he was definitely trying. Sanjin got the speed going just in time to keep Mike back there, but Mike's definitely got his eyes open, waiting for that one little opening. That's all it's going to take, and Mike Fulcher's going to pounce.
Race is moving in a hurry, already on lap number 11 of 28, Kane, and it runs like this. Chad Chastain in the lead with Mark Anderson currently in second. Back in third is Marlon J. McMullen with Tobias Zerny in fourth. Fifth is Sanjin Delilac with Michael Fulcher in sixth. Dylan Shepard currently holds this spot in the seventh position with Graham Fyland in eighth. Ninth, it belongs to Bo Jansen with Nigel Baines back in the 10th spot. Stuart Dent is back in 11th with Corey Preston of HPR Racing in 12th. Marty Carroll of SDC Motorsports back in the 13th position with Never Quit Racing driver Tony Klusterman in 14th. The field is rounded out with Sam Sutton back in 15th position.
What a great job for Tony Klusterman. Back in the very first laps of this race, he was back there all by himself, not a car around. He had to have been at least 5 or 6 seconds back off of everybody else, and now he has caught the rest of the field. And before long, we'll be putting pressure on Marty Carroll for that 13th position.
Yeah, man, Nigel Baines starting to move back up through the field as well. Next on his list is Bo Jansen, and he's already closed in, Kane. He's right there with him. It's going to be fun to see if he can get him on this lap. Boy, I tell you what, this is fun. Nigel Baines moves to the inside. Oh, contact on Nigel. He has to try to save it. A beautiful save there by Nigel. More contact to the front of his car.
Let's take a race recall replay and take a look at that little incident with Nigel Baines as he looks to make the move on Bo Jansen as they get down to the real sharp right-hander. Oh, just a hair too hard, makes just a little bit of pretty soft bumper-to-bumper contact there, and it just kind of forces Nigel around, and he has to lose a lot of momentum.
Yeah, very interesting right there. That's just racing hard. This is a bump and grind track, and that's what we're seeing right now. Love it. Oh, man, look up here with Graham Fyland and Dylan Shepard. Battle for 7th is heating up in a hurry. Dylan Shepard has his hands full as Graham is right there with him. And Bones is on the move.
Yeah, Bones definitely putting the pressure on Dylan Shepard there as they go onto the back stretch. Dylan Shepard new to the Power Bond race team, just a couple weeks now, but he's definitely showing his work. He's definitely showing that he is a great member, great addition to the team.
It's always good to see guys joining up with folks and working together. It always helps out in the long run.
Yeah, the whole team aspect of the racing team aspect of things really adds a whole nother level of the racing experience, and a lot of the drivers are really finding that out. Not that this is Dylan's first team; he was on a team before this, but some other drivers are starting their own teams now, and we're seeing a lot of different teams forming up and stuff, and it's really good to see because as more drivers get together and work on setups and stuff, we really see the speeds increase and really see the drivers kind of go to that next level.
And that is really cool, man. I love to see that as well. Hey, Kane, I was doing...
Sorry, let me say that Nigel Baines has recaught Bo Jansen and is putting that pressure back on Bo Jansen for that 9th position.
No, you're good. I was just going to say that I've done a little bit of research, Kane, and it looks like we may see some folks try to be tricky here and try to pull the full distance out. Looks like with a maximum tank, it will allow you to get around 25 laps in. Now, that's just what it's given. Now, if you were to try to do some fuel saving, you might be able to stretch out 3 more laps. I don't know if you can do it, but you never know.
A lot of times I know whenever they work on the distances of these races, they figure it for fuel saver intentionally. So this could be one of those that it's figured for everybody to try to save the fuel and go the distance.
Definitely going to be fun to see. So far, though, everybody is out on the original tank of fuel here, and I wonder how the tires are holed up here. I think they'll be okay. But I tell you what, man, let's talk about the leader for just a moment. You kind of miss out on him when he gets out there by himself. But Chad Chastain is about at a 12.5, almost a 12.5 second lead over Marlon McMullen at the moment. And Kane, he has no pressure on him at all by anybody, and not even any lap traffic. He is all by himself at the moment. That just continues to help Marlon out. I mean, excuse me, I apologize, Chad. That continues to help Chad out.
Yeah, he's just on a Sunday drive, and we've seen this so much from Chad. As he gets in the lead, gets that clean air, he just takes off and just leaves everybody back there. And of course, everybody else seems to be in a battle. You know, Marlon McMullen's got Mark Anderson just a second off of his back bumper, so Marlon's really got some pressure from Mark, and then Mark's got the pressure from Tobias from Sanjin, and just on down the line. It's really a big battle for everybody else. Chad just happens to be out there all by himself.
Yeah, this Nigel Baines and Bo Jansen battle really starting to heat up in the last couple turns. Nigel's really started to look to make this pass again. And the second that Nigel, if he's able to make this pass happen, he's going to have Graham Filan right there to pass too. So he's got to be really careful how he does this. Oh, great move by Stuart Dent back there. And he had almost lost the position to Corey Preston and then made a fantastic move back out in front. Good job by the Xbox One driver.
As we're seeing, the passing is even more difficult here than what we thought coming in. I knew that it was going to be a challenge passing here, but man, I had no idea it was going to be this difficult. These drivers are
Corey Preston on the inside, man. I'm sorry, buddy, but beautiful move by Corey Preston through the hairpin and makes the pass on Stuart Dent. Boy, I tell you what, Corey Preston, he has really, really had a great year so far. I know he's back in 11th at the moment, but beautiful job by him there, and he's continuing to fight up.
Yeah, you know, his last couple races haven't been his best, but the start of the season was very, very good for Corey, and we're still seeing a lot of good momentum from Corey throughout the
Here's
last couple
Nigel
races.
going to the inside right now. He's got the pass made. If he can cut in on time, he does successfully in the same spot where we saw the incident earlier, and a pass finally completed by Nigel Baines of SDC Motorsports. Boy, Kane, he saw the opportunity there. I'm telling you what, Bo Jansen made the slightest mistake of getting a little bit out, a little bit heavy on an entry, and Nigel Baines jumped all over it and took advantage of it. Very nice job. And we've seen a lot of passes in these hairpins, Kane, I've noticed. This is a big zone to watch, is this big hairpin.
Yeah, each of the two sharp turns there is about the only two passing zones that we've really seen. The only two passing opportunities on the track that we've seen decent attempts made for passes.
A feeling we're gonna see one around this turn 3 up at the bottom of this hill. See how they're going up the hill? Nigel is just reaching the top of this hill. Down at the bottom, and you can get a good pass down here too on this 90-degree right-hander. Somebody comes out of there too hot, you can really get on the inside of them and use this straightaway to your advantage.
Tobias Zerny up in the 4th position, really putting the pressure on Mark Anderson for that 3rd position.
Yeah, he was all the way up in 2nd place earlier, Kane, and we had the mysterious slowdown, and he was all the way back in 5th. He's found his way up to at least 4th, and really trying to catch up to points leader Mark Anderson of Kamikaze Race Team. If he can do that and make that pass at least back up into a podium position, then maybe he can try to fight up there to catch up with Marlon. Now, Marlon's not far away from him at all, so it's very possible.
Yeah, the 3 drivers seem to be pretty close in speeds, and that just kind of makes it a little tough to find that passing opportunity that they need whenever they're all just so close in speed. It don't seem like anybody's got the real big speed advantage here.
All right, Nigel Baines and driver Graham Filand, and also I want to include Dylan Shepard. Great 3-way battle right now for the 7th and 8th positions. This is really nice. Look at Corey Preston try to go to the inside. He didn't have the speed, but he sure was looking for it as he was trying to find a way around Dylan. If Dylan were to make a mistake, he was going to be there to jump on it. Man, we got some killer driving going on right now from these guys.
Yeah, this mid-pack battle is really heating up as this track really leads to this real close bumper-to-bumper racing, and we're really seeing it get intense here as these drivers really want those positions. It's just hard to find a way around.
Boy, I tell you what, from Bo Jansen, Corey Preston, Stuart Dent, and Marty Carroll, all 4 right here are also going at it as well. And Marty Carroll really trying to find a way around Stuart Dent at the moment. These 2 were very, very close through the hairpin. I thought Marty Carroll was going to try to make a move on Stuart, but he just didn't have the ability. Here he goes. He's going to try to go to the outside, potentially on the inside if he can get the nose in. And it just tries again. Here he's going side by side with him. Can he get the advantage? He's going to have the inside. When he gets to the turn, he should have the pass. And he will get the pass successfully. We got trouble for HPR driver Corey Preston. He's turned around, Kane, and we're going to need a race recall replay. 2 cars involved. Tony Klusterman also involved in the incident. Boy, did you see that, buddy?
Yeah, Corey went kind of wide there and just come back on the track, kind of caught the wall, and Tony had to take evasive maneuvers and just kind of lost control himself. Man, another tough break for Tony.
That is weird right there. I'm telling you what, Corey Preston hit that wall in a funny way. What was so odd about that was normally you would hit the front end of the side of the car, not the tail end. And somehow the tail end hit and it spun the back end around, and that's what caused it. And then Tony Klusterman, I mean, if he'd have been an inch over to his right, that would have never happened. That is just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Very unfortunate for Tony Klusterman right there.
Yeah, Tony's definitely had a tough race tonight with the earlier incident that really, he had to work really hard to catch up, and then once he did get caught up to have a little incident like that, really tough break for Tony.
The HPR driver, Corey Preston, is in the pit box at the moment, getting repairs done to the HPR Falcon, and we'll hope that he can get back out soon. Tony Klusterman, on the other hand, has stayed out for the moment, and we'll see how the Never Quit Racing car continues to drive.
Nigel Baines working really hard on the other HPR Falcon and goes to the inside and makes the pass in the hairpin.
Man, beautiful job. I tell you what, Nigel Baines is starting his way up towards through the field. He's moved into the 8th position, Kane. Next on the list for him is Dylan Shepard.
Yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, Nigel Baines really does have a lot of speed here. It's a shame that he kind of had the bad luck at the start, because it would have been interesting to see how he fared had he been able to stay up there at the front with those guys. But definitely able to show his skill a little bit more tonight as he's having to work his way through the field.
Tell you what, I think we should go to our points champion, Mark Anderson, and go on board as we start a new lap. Then Mark Anderson makes his way out of the hairpin here and hits the start-finish line, an immediate left-hander, but still can be wide open as you ease off the accelerator. Here's where you start the uphill climb into turn 2 and 3. And a nice right-hander. As soon as you get over the hill and find the grip and you're comfortable, you can ease back on the accelerator. And then this nice left-hander, you're continuing to go uphill. You can really see the elevation on board. It helps a lot. Now downhill into this 90-degree right-hander. This is where the Corey Preston incident happened. He clipped this wall right there, and that's where that incident happened. Here's the big passing zone we've seen. And right here, if you get too wide, the guys have been going to the inside of other drivers and taking advantage. Tough part of the track right here. You really have to wash off the speed. You think it's time to go, but you don't. You have to ease on it. Use all of the curb, coming out, accelerate. This is when you can punch it. You're going full out, and then you have to get back on the brake here into the right-hander until the final straightaway here on the what you call the backstretch, all the way to the hairpin. Brakes are on full and in the hairpin, very nice and tight, and back towards the start-finish line. And that's a lap here on the Cup configuration there at Sonoma. I love this track, Kane.
Yeah, we've seen that Tobias Zerny did end up at some point making his way around Mark Anderson there, and is now looking to put the pressure on second place Marlon McMullen. With 5 laps to go, we'll probably see a pretty good battle there for that second place before this is over.
Yeah, we will, and I tell you what, it looks like these guys have been able to stretch this fuel. I don't see anybody pitting. I think they would have already done it if they were going to. They are all thinking that they can stretch this thing to the end, so it's going to be fun to see. And I tell you what, Marlon McMullen, remember early in the race with the incident with Nigel Baines and the damage to the front of that Dayco Ford Falcon, it has not caused a single problem for Marlon that we are aware of. He is driving beautifully in second, but his teammate Tobias Zerny coming up pretty quickly.
Yeah, taking a look at Marlon as he's manhandling that vehicle around this course, it looks like his steering wheel's pretty straight. So usually that's where you'll, with that front end damage, you'll see this issue with the steering being off. But it looks like his steering wheel's still straight. So that's going to be, that would be his biggest worry from that front end damage, is having a crooked steering wheel. And it don't look like he's got that. So that's why he's in such good shape. He's able to keep his steering.
Well, very good point, Kane. In the last rundown here, because we only have a few laps left, Chad Chastain still in the lead, 16.6 seconds behind Marlon McMullen, with Tobias Zerny back in third. Fourth, Mark Anderson. Sanjin Delilac back in fifth, battling hard with Michael Fulcher in sixth. Dylan Shepard just falling down a position to seventh with a pass by Nigel Baines to move up into the 7th position, but not for long. Here comes Dylan again, and a very good move by Nigel Baines to shut down that pass opportunity from Dylan. Nigel has moved up another spot. And then right behind Nigel now, Dylan Shepard takes over 8th, and of course Graham Filan back in 9th. Marty Carroll rounds out the top 10, Stuart Dent 11th, 12th Bo Jansen, Tony Kloosterman 13th, 14th Corey Preston. He is 2 laps down and off the track at the moment. Sam Sutton is out of the race in 15th. Boy, sorry, Kane, I got excited. That was a beautiful pass right there.
Yeah, it was. We see Chad Chastain coming around. Might be able to put Tony Kloosterman a lap down with 3 laps to go.
pretty good race pace, obviously, out there in the lead. So I definitely, Chad has not a worry in the world. He can save as much fuel as he needs to with that kind of lead. And I think they're going to be. I think everybody's going to be all right on fuel. Battle's starting to heat up with Sanjin Delilac and Michael Fulcher. Now this is a battle for a top 5 position, so this can get pretty hairy in a heartbeat here as this race winds down in a hurry on lap 26 of 28, Kane. And you know as well as I do, here at the end, you got to start going now. We've already seen it's hard to make these passing opportunities stick, so definitely going to be fun to see this battle. It's definitely one of the tightest ones on the track right now. Man, tell you what, this Michael Fulcher of Kamikaze Race Team has had a fantastic year so far. He's only back in 6th right now. You know he would love to get around Sanjin and just to get that top 5. His teammates sitting in 4th position right now, and he would just love to be finished 5 and 4. Going into the hairpin, beautiful driving by Sanjin Delilac. That's exactly textbook how you enter and exit that hairpin. Makes it really hard to pass there, Kane, when you hit it just right.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's only if you go a little wide there can someone get underneath you and get around you.
Oh, he's going to try to do that here, Kane. He's looking he's trying to poke that nose, and we got trouble off track for Michael Fulcher. Sanjin Delilac made contact, and that could be big trouble for Michael. I think he's okay, but that definitely ended that battle.
Yeah, that definitely probably cost him his chance at that 5th place position. It was a risky move trying to pass going up the hill right there, but it definitely cost him the opportunity for that 5th position.
The white flag is out. Chad Chastain has already went through the start-finish line. He's already heading towards turns 4 and 5 on the final lap here at Infineon Raceway at Sonoma. Beautiful job by the Can-Am Motorsport driver, Chad Chastain. We can't say it enough. This guy is just untouchable when he is on the pole.
Yeah, we've seen that from most of his races this season. Chad Chastain is just on fire. When he gets out front like that and he takes off, he takes off. He leaves everybody in the dust.
And he really did that today. Beautiful job. The only problem he could have now is if that tank were to run dry on us. But here he is on the final approach, Kane. Here he is heading towards the final hairpin turn here at Sonoma Raceway. A beautiful job. As long as he can get on the accelerator here, he can coast to the finish line. And the final turn right here. Congratulations, your winner at the 2014 Season 1 Sonoma race, Chad Chastain. Congratulations, buddy. Now, as we go back to the 2nd position, it's kind of a nice little battle with Tobias and Marlon, but Marlon has him. Oh, wait, Tobias coming up. They're going to make it a fun finish. Teammates right there. Good job by Marlon to get 2nd, Tobias in 3rd. 4th, Mark Anderson. Here comes Sanjin and Michael Fulcher. They're coming around towards the hairpin. Michael Fulcher has caught back up to Sanjin, but he's not close enough to fight for a pass. It looks like Sanjin will round out the top 5, and Michael possibly getting 6th right there. And let's go back in Nigel Baines. He looks like he's going to make it across safely in 7th. Dylan Shepard and Graham still battling it out back there. And how about Marty Carroll? Found his way around Graham. Oh, man, that'll put Marty up in the 9th position. A beautiful job by Marty. He's going to try to get Dylan here at the end, just run out of time. Dylan Shepard, beautiful race today, finishing 8th, and Marty Carroll finishing 9th. And Stuart Dent, something happened to Graham. Graham fell a few positions there at the end, Kane, and that is a tough day for Graham, but it went Stuart Dent 10th, Bo Jansen 11th, Graham filing 12th, and Tony Kloosterman 13th. And Corey Preston, of course, was unable to complete his race. I thought he would continue after that light damage. It looked like, but I guess it was a little more serious than we imagined. But
Yeah,
anyways, a
must
beautiful.
have been, or maybe
Yeah.
it could have been aggravation. You know, an incident like that could be aggravating enough to just call that the race.
Even if it's a 14th position day for Corey Preston, and Corey's had a great season so far, so no reason to fret over a bad result. He'll bounce back, I'm sure, next week and be right back in there as we go next week to Phillip Island. A lot of these guys are really looking forward to that race. I know I am, Kane. That's always one of my favorite places to visit.
Yeah, Phillip Island definitely a favorite of most of the drivers, I would say. So, this next week is definitely going to be an awesome race.
Well, I'll go through it one more time real quick while we're still in here. The final results here in just a minute. Of course, Chad Chastain of the Can-Am Motorsport driver finishes in first, with Marlon J. McMullen finishing in second. Third went to Tobias Zerny. Mark Anderson finished fourth with Sanjin Delilac in the fifth spot. Sixth was Michael Fulcher with Nigel Baines in seventh. Dylan Shepard finished 8th with Marty Carroll in the 9th position. Rounding out your top 10 here at Sonoma was Stuart Denton in the Xbox One Ford Falcon. Bo Jansen was in the 11th spot with Graham Filan of HPR Racing in 12th. Tony Klusterman of Never Quit Racing finished 13th and was the final car to finish on the track. We had Corey Preston. Unfortunately, his day was ended, and unfortunately it says he was disqualified, Kane, and it's 7 laps down, but or 8 laps. No, 7 laps down, but disqualified. He finished 14th, and then Sam Sutton was disconnected. That's what happened to Sam. So once the race ended, I was able to see kind of what the iRacing scored him as, the official results. And that's how we ran here. I tell you what.
Oh yeah, I see. Corey Preston had 17 incidents, and as we know with the new rule package, that 17 incidents could be a disqualification, and in this case it did disqualify Corey Preston, so that's why we lost Corey.
That is big, and I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and bring Corey Preston in here and talk to him about that. Corey, what's going on, buddy? I know, buddy. What a race! What a way to end it right there. Getting the good old-fashioned, or not old-fashioned, how about the new rule package? Hit those disqualification when you get over the 17 incidents. That was ridiculous there, huh?
Yeah, all you can do is laugh, really, but that started back on lap 1, I think, when a bit of a commotion up the front, and I had nowhere to go. That was about 4 incidents, and then I got turned later in the race. And then, yeah, I just had a damaged car. I clipped the wall going into turn 1. I bent my steering, and I pit for a meatball, and then just, yeah, clocked up to 17 incidents, so it was my own fault.
Well, very, very sad to see that, but you know, had a decent race going for you, man, and it was a scary moment there. We saw you tap the back end of the car on the wall, and it slung the back end around, and that was just a weird crash. You'd think if you're going to hit the wall, the front end would hit first, but the back end, I guess, must have been a little loose for it to be a little bit further out towards the wall.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I was coming into pit lane and going around. I think I might have just gave it too much jandle or something, but yeah. Anyway, that was the end of it. Trying to come into pit lane, disqualified. So yeah.
Well, you've had a really good season up to this point. So, did you race in the race yesterday?
No.
Okay, well. You have had a good season up to this point. We do got drop weeks, so this probably go down as one of your drop weeks, and we'll probably still see you in the contention for the points race, because you really have had a pretty good season this time.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and watch the replay because I don't have my copy of the replay anymore, because as soon as the race finished, my iRacing sim crashed and just said that Windows has stopped working. So
Yeah,
yeah,
mine too. I don't have the replay today either because the same exact thing happened to me. So
yeah.
that stinks. I don't know
Oh,
what
did I?
happened to that.
It
I
happened.
think.
I think it happened to everybody because it happened to me.
Huh, interesting.
Oh no. Did we get the broadcast done?
Yeah,
Yep,
the broadcast did
Oh,
complete.
good, good. Anyway,
you're
I'll
on the
have to go and look.
broadcast right now, buddy. Well, thanks for coming and chatting with us, and better luck next week as we head out to Phillip Island, bud.
Thanks, JD and Thomas or Kane. Always a pleasure to chat to you. You always brighten my day if I had a bad race.
Hey, that's what it's all about, brother. Always a pleasure talking to you, and better luck next week, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
And that is our good friend Corey Preston, driver of the HPR Ford Falcon. Now it's time to get in here, race winner Chad Chastain. And let me see here. Chad, you have a copy with us, brother.
10-4, 10-4, JD. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great after watching you dominate that race. I'm telling you what, we got to get the stats. I'm gonna have to go back and pull the stats up on you. I think every race I've ever seen you race, where you start on the pole, you have won that race, and not only won it, you dominate the race. And I tell you what, if you can just qualify on the pole, you can go ahead and pack up the championship. If you can just find a way to qualify on the pole every week, buddy. I mean, seriously.
I wish. No, it felt good. I finally I put down a good qualifying lap, and I think I got away well. And like we were talking about last week, that just lets you settle into a rhythm. It's a shame that something happened with Tobias's screens, because I think it was shaping up to be a barn burner there. I mean, he was holding station there just a little bit off me those first few laps, and I was preparing for war, but it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, we were wondering what happened with him. I was going to ask him in a minute, but because we saw him slow down, and we said, "Wait a minute, he didn't cut a corner or anything. Why is he slowing down?" And yeah, man, he was doing really good early in the race, and but another fantastic result, buddy. We go to Phillip Island next week, and of course that's a favorite of all the V8 drivers. It's one of my favorite tracks in the V8. I love that place, and we're gonna have some good racing going on there next week.
Yeah, that's a fun track. Not one of my best, but I'll work on it during the week, and hopefully I can continue the streak I'm on. It feels good to kind of right the ship and be putting together some strong finishes.
Man, I'm telling you what, you just keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Hey, Kane, we got a connection that I just found out about. I'm from Wichita.
That
Born in
is-
Wesley Hospital, yeah. My mom's from Halstead. I got family all over there. That's funny.
That is awesome. I also was born at Wesley Hospital.
Oh, wow. Well, not to steer it off the track there, but I just wanted to touch in with that one. Yeah, it felt good, guys, and yeah, just working 1 week at a time, and we'll see how it all shakes out at the end of the season.
Absolutely, buddy. Thanks for having a chat with us, Chad. We always enjoy it, buddy.
Man, thanks for having me, guys. See you next week.
Great job, Chad.
Thanks, Kane.
And that is Chad Chastain, everybody. Another win for him and the Can-Am Motorsports machine. Beautifully done. And let's get in here, the defending champion. Always fun to have a word with Marlon J. McMullen, defending champion of the 2013 Season 4 season. Marlon, what's up, buddy?
G'day guys, how are we?
Oh, fantastic. Another great result as we come across in second place this week. And I tell you what, man, you have just had a fantastic year ever since the first two races ended. You just completely turned this season around, did a 180. And each week I'm waiting for you to slip up again, and you do not disappoint, man. It's beautiful. Every week, it's just continuing to be up at the top.
Oh, thanks for that. I'm not quite sure about the start though. I mean, I thought once we got green and about 10 seconds into it, I thought that was all over for the day. But other than that, as I said, it's been one of those championships where I've had to put the fight back and just consistently sit up there in the top three. I mean, I haven't been plucking any wins, unfortunately, but at the end of the day, it's just about salvaging it. But otherwise than that, I had a really good race again tonight. A little bit not disappointed, I mean upset or anything like that, but just a little bit shattered about the damage that I had with, at the end with the contact with Nigel. Just one of those things, I guess, lag contact, so none of our fault, it's just racing.
Yeah, when we went back and watched it, we watched a good replay on it, and you couldn't even if you had to pick a falter in it, I would hate to be the guy that would have to judge that because it just looked like it just looked like two guys racing and y'all run out of track room is all it was. Literally nobody jerked into the other guy, or I mean it just happened. It's really hard to explain. It would be very, very hard to find out who was at fault at that. But beautiful job on the track, buddy. And we go to Phillip Island next week for some fantastic V8 supercar racing on a track that's made for it, man. I love it. Can't wait to go there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, salvage what I could after that race, and we'll hold our head high, and we'll use that motivation and push on for Phillip Island.
Only you would say I'll salvage something in its second place finish.
It's better than nothing.
Well, good race, Marlon. A pleasure talking with you, buddy.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, brother. And that is Marlon J. McMullen, everybody, driver of the Dayco Ford Falcon. And another beautiful day. I'm going to bring in the gentleman that was involved with the incident with Marlon McMullen early in the race in a very unfortunate event, but a beautiful recovery. Nigel Baines, SDC Motorsports driver. What's up, Nigel?
Oh, not too much there, guys. How you doing, Kane, JD?
Doing fantastic, buddy. We enjoyed watching the SDC Motorsports car going around the track. That thing is a sexy looking car, buddy. And I hated to see her get banged up there at the beginning. To tell us a little bit what happened, it looked maybe like what Marlon said, just kind of like a lag contact. I was telling him I would hate to have to pick who was at fault there because nobody jerked into the other car. It just looked like y'all ran out of track room.
Yeah, I got a quick look at it just before the end of the session there, but I got a flying start. I think I'd possibly jumped Mark and Marlon too, and around the outside, and I was just trying to sort of move back onto line. I was pretty sure there was enough room there, but maybe Mark was also on the inside of Marlon. I'm not sure. Yeah, and then obviously just caught my rear quarter, and that was that really. The rest was kind of fighting from there on. So yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch you fight back, and man, really enjoyed watching you try to get around Bo Jansen there. First time you had some more contact, and beautiful save. The car could have went array at that point, but you saved it and kept it stable, and then you were able to make the pass on him the next time by at the same spot. It was very nice.
Yeah, I did apologize to Bo there. It was just, I kind of had a half look and couldn't pull out of it. Just caught his rearing as well there. It's so tough to pass. You're looking for any half an inch you can get. And yeah, with the battle of the four of us, I think it was right then with Dylan, Bones and Bo. Just so difficult. And I was lucky enough to get through in the end. And the Bones was a gentleman, gave me lots of room. And yeah, I was happy to get back to 7th and salvage something after the start there. So,
now, congratulations on a great race that you saved. It could have been a rough day after that start, and really good job, buddy. Always good to see you doing well out there, Nigel. And best of luck to you at Phillip Island next week, pal.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, hopefully we can score some better points for the Americas series there. And seems to be my bad luck's in this one at the moment, but. We'll keep it going, and we'll look for some better results. And well done to Chad, Marlon, and Tobias there. It looked like a close race for second, too.
Oh, yeah, it was fantastic, buddy. Well, always a pleasure talking to you, brother. We'll talk to you later, pal.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And that is Nigel Baines, everybody, driver of the SDC Motorsports Ford Falcon. Now, let's get in here, Mr. Bones. Graham, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you going, boys?
Doing good, man. A good race from you today, Bones. Fantastic results. I really enjoyed watching you today. Man, I tell you what, you fell there at the end a few spots, but you were running up there around 9th, 8th for a long time.
Yeah, she was a hard track to pass. Yeah, I was putting as much pressure on Dylan as I could to make a mistake, and he just wasn't making one. So yeah, it was I felt I had the pace, but I just couldn't quite get there. When Bainesy came up behind me, I sort of let him pass, and he can put pressure on the guy in front because I couldn't force a mistake, and yeah, he got round him. But yeah, I nearly did that last lap, and I just locked him up slightly at the end of the overtake move, and yeah, he turned in a little bit, and damage, and I was in neutral and couldn't get it going. But yeah, no, it was a good fun race. Don't usually like this track that much, but yeah, I enjoyed it then.
Yeah, man, I love Sonoma. It's fun, you know me and my stock car racing. I enjoy getting the old fat, heavy stock cars out on this track and riding them around this bad boy. But it's even funner in the V8. I love hopping the curbs here and just having some fun. And but anyways, man, it was a good pleasure watching you, Graham. It looks like you're trying to improve yourself each and every week, buddy. You keep it up, you'll be up there fighting for top fives in no time.
Not quite that for this old bloke. But yeah, I'm happy to be in there battling with him. So it was good. I apologise to Dylan for that little lock up at the end. I thought I'd nearly give him enough room, but it was only a slight tap, so it should be all right. He went on to be all right. So
Absolutely, buddy. Well, best of luck to you at Phillip Island next week, man.
Yeah, I better start practicing now. I'm not there either.
All right, brother. Well, that's Bones, everybody. Also known as Graham Filan, his HPR driver. Fantastic job.
That's something worth mentioning. Is that just the fact that these guys, whenever they have that incidental contact, they do genuinely feel bad about that contact. The sportsmanship that we've seen in this series has been great, and that really takes the series to that next level when the drivers really have that caring about each other, and if they cause another driver harm, stuff like that. I really just like to see that kind of sportsmanship from these guys.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Kane. That's because most of the guys here all race together, and they've all got a lot of respect for each other and the way they drive, and when you do make that, you're trying to make that move because you are trying to race, and then if it doesn't, you could make that slight mistake, you do feel really bad, especially if you ruin someone's race. But I'm just glad I didn't ruin his race, because he drove really, really well. I just had no way of getting around him. So.
Oh yeah, fantastic, buddy. And it is. It's awesome. It's I've always found that here in the V8 Supercar series, especially in the guys that drive in the America series. And man, we enjoyed talking to you, Bones. You can't tell me what happened in the second split because you've been up in the top split every week now. That's good.
We got Jim Davies in here now. He'll be able to tell you all about it. He got a podium finish there. So.
Oh, good stuff, man. Well, take care and best of luck to you next week, pal.
All right. See you again, guys. Thanks for the call again.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And that is Bones, everybody. Always fun talking to old Bonesy. And let's get in here. Next, Kane, I want to have a word with a driver with it. Bones was telling us he's had a great day. Mr. Dylan Shepard, welcome on the broadcast, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you guys?
Oh, doing fantastic, buddy. We had a great race you had there. We had fun watching you out there here at Sonoma, man. Tell us a little bit about the race today.
Didn't get as much practice in as we should have, but no, the car was set up great from the guys at Powerborn. Got a decent start. There was a bit of an incident up ahead on the road. Just stayed on the road and kept going. Had Graham on the back of me for the whole race, just keeping the pressure on me, and I just kept to myself, saved my tyres, and by the end of it we got into a bit of a heated battle, which he just made a bit of a mistake overtaking me. Might be a bit of my fault. I haven't really checked over and had a look, but yeah, it was really unlucky. But yeah, it turned out to be a great race.
Yeah, but we really enjoyed watching it, and Graham was just telling us that he felt really bad about that, and we were talking about the great sportsmanship here in this league. But man, a great race, Dylan, and we move on next week to Phillip Island, and it's always one of my favorites to get these V8s out on there, and man, it just seems like they belong there, and really excited to see the racing next week. I hope we keep seeing you get up in these top 10s, man. We'll be seeing you with the top 5 in no time.
Yeah, thanks. I'll see you next week at Phillip Island.
Absolutely, buddy. You take care, Dylan.
See ya.
And that's Dylan Shepard, everybody. Fantastic drive for him today. I really enjoyed watching him. Let's get in here. I'll tell you what, let's get in here. The third place driver. I don't want to forget Tobias Zerny, everybody. What's going on, brother?
Hello guys, thank you for finally pulling me up here as well.
Oh yeah, I wanted to save you for later, man. I always get you in here early, so I said I'm gonna make him wait today.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's
No,
not that
buddy,
bad, the race.
man, you had a great race, but I want to ask you a question. Tell us what happened when you had the slowdown. We were wondering
Yeah.
what happened because you obviously didn't have a corner cut, so.
Yeah, I get some problems here. Sometimes it very rarely happens that somehow my TV loses the video signal input and just gets black. And usually the signal comes back a second later. So I do not have to do anything. I just need to know where I am and continue the corner. But no, it didn't. The signal didn't come back, and I had to grab for the remote control and get it back to HDMI 1. And yeah, so.
You know what, Tobias? It's funny that you say that, and it makes me feel a little better because my screen does that too. It always comes back. It only takes about a second, but it'll go black for about a second randomly once in a while.
Yeah, it's a really a shame. I don't know what it is. It happened with the PlayStation as well. Different cables. It must be the screen.
Yeah, must be. But yeah,
Man,
man,
I
we
was
were wondering
fortunate.
what
That
happened.
could have ended in catastrophe there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
definitely. I
lucky
could have
that
stuck
it
the
happened
wall
right
and
where it did.
parking straight or whatever in the way of Mark and Marlon. So they both did a fantastic job to avoid me, and yeah, so it turned out to be very good for Marlon, I guess. I had the hopes that Chad might ruin his tires a bit, and I will be able to challenge him in the end. But so yeah, when losing over 10 seconds in a lap, it's difficult. I was happy to get back to the podium.
Oh, it's very nice, man. A good podium finish here at Sonoma. And like we said, we're going to Phillip Island next week. I know you're fast there, buddy. It's going to be fun going to Phillip Island. Man, I love that place.
Let me check. I'm not sure if I can take part next week. Might be that I have to do. No, it's 2 weeks. Maybe next week, yeah. 2
So
weeks,
you will be
obviously
there
not.
maybe next week, huh?
Yeah, I will try it. I'm not a big fan of Phillip Island, but yeah, it's V8 America is always good for good racing and some points. I mean, the Eurobreeze race usually that took off Friday evening for me somehow died, so that's a bit of a shame. But now, so I had to move over to the Americas race.
Yeah, man. Well, we're happy to have you here. You know, we want you to call the America's Race home, man. So come back and see us next week if you can, buddy.
Yeah, sure, I will.
Absolutely, buddy. Thanks a lot for coming and having a chat with us too, Tobias. That was a beautiful run out there today.
Yeah, see ya, JD and Kane.
Appreciate you staying up for us and staying up a little later to come talk to us.
But thanks a lot, Tobias.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, that was Tobias Ernie, everybody, and another beautiful job by him today. Let's get in here, SDC Motorsport driver Marty Carroll, and have a word with Marty for a minute. Marty, what's going on, brother?
How are we, gentlemen?
Doing great, man, and had a fun time calling the action there at Sonoma. A nice race today. What happened at the beginning of the race, buddy? I saw that you slowed down. I guess you were, I don't know if you're trying to avoid the Nige incident and the Nigel and Marlon incident or what?
Yeah, I just checked up for them and got a little bit of net-coated turnaround, because there was no one really around me. And yeah, next thing I knew, I was up in the grass, and both STC cars starting again from the back. So yeah, it made it interesting.
Well, you did a great job riding up through the field. We watched you for a good bit tonight, and you put on a good show for us, man. Fighting for position. It was really good to see you doing well out there.
Yeah, it was a good solid recovery to get both cars back into the top 10, and yeah, no, I had a good bit of fun trying to come back through the field. So no, it was an enjoyable race.
Oh, we leave America and the West Coast and head back to Aussie land, buddy, and we head to Phillip Island nonetheless. Tell me, are you excited about next weekend?
No, very excited. So hopefully one of us Aussie boys will be able to knock Chad off the top spot, because he's been devastational.
That's
in the
right.
last couple
He
of weeks.
has been devastational, buddy. He has really been incredible here the past few weeks, and I'm ready to see one of you SDC boys in victory lane here soon, buddy. We've been waiting for it.
Yeah, we're getting there. No, we're working towards it. So we just got to keep ourselves out of trouble and on the first lap, and we should be good.
Sounds like a winner, buddy. You take care, Marty. Always a pleasure talking to you, buddy. Great run tonight.
Yeah, thanks again, JD and Kane.
Absolutely. And that is Marty Carroll, everybody, driver of the SDC Motorsports Machine. Beautiful job here tonight. Now let's get in here. A guy who's been waiting to talk to us for a little while. Old Sanjin Delilac, glad to see you run tonight, buddy. Great result here out on the track.
Hey guys, how you going? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was a tough race, that one. Had my mirrors full the whole way.
Boy, I tell you what, you had battles with several different people. It seemed like some of the guys had it. Everybody had a tough action tonight, but some of the guys had a break here and there. It seemed like you had your hands full from start to finish.
I tell you what, I was worked up a sweat, that's for sure. But yeah, no, it's bloody Michael drove an excellent race. Yeah, I was just fighting so hard just to keep him off my back, and yeah, I think towards the end there, when to pull a move, and unfortunately I clipped the ripple strip and sort of sent me flying into him. But yeah, I sort of pulled up and waited for him just to have another bit of a battle to the end. But
Well, I mean, beautiful job tonight. I saw that Dale connected for a minute. Dale Niche. I didn't know if he was going to race tonight or not. What happened with him?
yeah, not too sure. Not yeah, he wasn't really in TeamSpeak, so I didn't really get to talk to him much. But yeah, I think he was, and then I don't know, just internet dramas or what it was.
Oh, I'm sure it's something like that. But I saw where he connected a little bit after you guys went green, so I'm sure he was there watching the race. But it'll be good to see your teammate get it back out there with you. He's had some good runs with you as well this season, and I'd like to see him get back there with you.
Yeah, hopefully he does. Yeah, I enjoy racing with Dale. He's a good racer, so hopefully
He
he comes
uses
out
the
and
heck
enjoys it.
out of me though, because I'm always calling him you and you him. Have to work on somebody needs a racing stripe or something, just a little color difference, so that I quit messing you guys up.
I think our numbers are pretty similar too in the car. So.
Yeah, they are. It's always funny when we do that too. I'm sure you've seen it on the broadcast. But I tell you what, buddy, we go to Phillip Island next week, man, and I'm excited to see you out there, Sanjay. I'm pretty sure you'll be really doing well out at Phillip Island. You're pretty familiar with the place, so should be good for you.
Yeah, see how we go. I love the circuit. The circuit don't love me that much, so hopefully it's a good one.
That's like me, man. I love Phillip Island, but it hates me. I always go through the grass there. I take shortcuts.
It's a great circuit though, yeah, real fast and a lot of overtaking opportunities, unlike this circuit.
Boy, yeah, it seemed like passing was almost impossible today. I don't know how you guys were able to pull it off. We saw a lot of passing for a track that's very, very difficult to pass on, and that was awesome, man.
Yeah, so I think it's the only race I've ever done where I didn't even look at my lap times on other. I thought I just had my hands full just trying to keep it on the road. So I went against Bones' decision for tyre choice there before the race. I thought, nah, I'll try something different, and yeah, it didn't pay off. I should have listened to him, but still happy with the result in the end, I guess.
One thing I was wondering about fuel. How did you guys do on fuel? Did you have to save much, or did it seem like it just had plenty?
Nah, I had plenty, yeah. I didn't have to save it all.
See, I thought we were going to have to save some because when I filled up my tank and went out, it was telling me I had estimated 25 laps. And I was like, wait a minute. Something's going on here. Must have, I don't know, I must have not filled it all the way up like I thought I did.
Well, at the start, usually, when you fill it, it does show that, and then until you get going, and then it starts climbing up a bit.
That's true. That is very true. Once you get it going, it does climb up some. So I was glad to see everybody made it fine. I was worried about some of you guys. I was like, man, I wonder if they're getting low on fuel. But,
I didn't have a clue what my car was doing. I was just too busy trying to keep it on the road. Too scared to look how much fuel I had.
Well, awesome, Sanjay, man. Good to talk to you, buddy. Best of luck with you next week, pal.
Thanks again, guys. Cheers.
Absolutely, man. That's Sanjay Delilac, everybody. Driver of the Altitude Nissan machine, and a beautiful job by Sanjin. Let's get in a guy that raced in the second split today, Jim Davey. Jim, you got a copy, buddy?
Hey, how are you, sir?
Oh man, doing fantastic, man. Glad you're here to chat, have a little chat with us. We're kind of curious what happened in the other split. Tell us a little bit about what happened on the other Sonoma race.
Well, it almost started out with disaster with, who was it? Martin and Brenton getting together like in turn one with a little bit of netcode and could have ruined the entire field. But other than that, it was actually pretty clean. Really tight racing in about the top five for about the first half of the race until cars started to fall off in performance and slide off the track a little bit. But for the most part, for everybody, it was pretty clean. It was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds very similar to what we saw in our race. We did have a tie up at the very beginning. We saw Marlon McMullen and Nigel Baines have a little netcode accident at the beginning. They were running side by side, and the next thing you know, they were stuck together, and it put Marlon in the back quarter panel of Nigel, sending him around, and definitely could have been disastrous. Luckily, it didn't involve nobody but those two. And after that, we saw some really great clean racing, and there was good battling through about 99% of the race. So I enjoyed Sonoma. I thought it went very well.
Yeah, it normally does, surprisingly enough. I hate the track personally, but I always seem to do decently. Um, but yeah, like our split, probably about the first half of the race, top three were only separated by about a second and a half until they started falling off in performance a little bit.
Man, that's it.
Finish times. It looks like you were having a pretty good battle there with Brett Selby Wood.
Honestly, he was faster than I am. He normally is. I think I did about 3 laps of practice a little bit ago, and that was it for the week. I don't like the track to begin with, so he was faster than me, but it's just so hard to pass at this track. And really, the spot I was fastest with was the right-hander just before the hairpin at the end of the lap, so I was able to keep in front of him.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. For a track that you don't like, it looks like you did pretty good, buddy. And we head to Phillip Island next week, and man, we look forward to hearing how things go for you next week, Jim. Hopefully, maybe you can get a win out there, bud.
Well, I'm hoping so. Hopefully, I'll be able to race it. I love running that track. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome, buddy. Well, thanks for coming and having a chat with us. Please come back and chat with us more often, man. We like to talk to you and see what's going on around everywhere else. And sometimes you're in here at the top split with us, so we got to find somebody to give us the scoop when you're in here with us. So, his Bones was doing it for a little while, and then he is back in the top split now. So sometimes, so it changes up so much.
It really does. It just shows how competitive the series is, where you can come up one week and back down the next week, and I think that's what makes it a lot of fun for some people.
Yes, it really is, man. And the racing is so good each and every week. I mean, every track we've been to this season has been a great race. So it's always competitive, and that's one thing I really love. It's good, clean racing too. It's not a wreck fest or everybody cussing everybody out, and that drives me nuts. So it's really great racing, and I think a lot of people don't realize it's literally some of the best racing you can get, and that's what a lot of people don't realize about it. And it's awesome, man. They don't know what they're missing.
Oh, absolutely. This is probably one of the best kept secrets on the entire service. But yep, I want to hop out of here, but thanks for pulling me in here.
Absolutely, Jim. Always a pleasure talking to you, buddy. We'll chat at you next week, hopefully, bud.
All right, I'll catch you later.
All right, and that's Jim Davey. Everybody did a fantastic job in the other split tonight. Kane, that about wraps it up here at Sonoma, man. A fantastic race tonight. I was very happy when I saw that Sonoma was on the schedule, but not only Sonoma, the Cup configuration. I'll be honest, I love Sonoma, but I'm not a fan of the Indy racing configuration. I'm not a fan at all. In fact, I'd just assume not race it. If we're going to run that configuration, I do not like it.
Yeah,
and
that turn there at the end, it's weird. It just feels off. It just makes the whole track feel weird whenever it ends that way. And
It
but
does.
this configuration was awesome. It really made for some really close racing tonight, and it was pretty exciting. I wish the guys would have had better passing opportunities, but having so few opportunities really made the racing really close and exciting. So I guess it's kind of like a necessary evil. It really
Well,
made
man,
for some nice racing.
I actually, yeah, and I thought for the track that we were at, we actually got to see more passing than I expected. I really wasn't expecting to see much at all, and we
Well, and
did
we
see.
didn't at first. At first, it was really challenging, but as the race went on, the drivers got a little bit more brave and started putting their nose in there and just kind of having to force the issue. And so we did get to see some passing there toward the end, and it was pretty exciting.
Absolutely, buddy. And so we'll be at Phillip Island next week. Can't wait to see it out there. Will Sanjin Delilac be able to crack up into a podium spot? Will we see Dylan Shepard get a little higher? Will we see Marty Carroll climb up into a podium spot? Some of the guys that have been kind of running mid-pack here this season. Or will we see the continuing dominance of Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motorsports machine? Will we see Nigel Baines bounce back and get his first win of the season? All these things and more. Check us out next week, and we want to thank everybody for joining us one more time. And we want to let you know tonight's broadcast was presented in HD by V8's online superstore, Direct Clutch Services, and always, of course, the V8 Supercar fan group. And I'm JD Smith. With me with Kane is Kane Kraft. We'll be here the same time, same place. Join us next week live from Phillip Island.
Contact free. Close. Contact free. A little bit of contact there from Scott. He muscles his way past.
Contact. Into the back of... Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.